Right then, you're seeing me because I have to prove to some computerized algorithm that I am human. Furthermore, you need to click the or hit the like button before you click onto your next video to prove that you are human. Right, so this video is about the returning of the shamed Isan daughters.
Right then, do please listen up. They left as the girls the village whispered about, and now they are coming back as the women the village cannot ignore. What happens when the shamed daughters return to home, not with their heads bowed, but with their chins raised and their wallets full? For decades, we have talked about the migration out, the exodus of young women from the rice paddies to the neon lights. However, I want to talk about the migration back, because the daughters are coming home and they are bringing something the village did not bargain for. Today, we are exploring the quiet revolution of the Isan returnees. I have been living in this village long enough to watch a generation grow up, leave, and now, slowly but surely, start coming back. Besides, let me tell you, they are not the same women who left. Do you remember my first two rants? The ones where I told you about the invisible bankers, the daughters who funded the village from Bangkok, bars and foreign cities? The ones society shamed while cashing their cheques? Well, those daughters are coming home, and they are not coming back with their towels between their legs. They are coming back with something far more dangerous to the order: power. Now, I am not one to be bogged down in statistics. I am a grumpy old man, not an accountant. However, the numbers here tell a story that is impossible to ignore. The COVID-19 pandemic did something remarkable. When the world shut down, more than 400,000 Isan people returned to their hometowns. Besides, here is the kicker: only 80,000 of them went back to the cities when things opened up again. The rest stayed home. Now, some of those were the younger generation, the ones who had been working in factories or service jobs, who suddenly realized they could build a life here. However, a significant portion were the returnees I am talking about today, the daughters who had spent years, sometimes decades, abroad. The academic research bears this out. A study conducted at Konkan University tracked what they called the return of village daughters from the West. These are the women who married Western men, the Mia Farang phenomenon, and lived abroad for years, sometimes decades. Now they are coming back to their girlhood villages for retirement. What's more, they are bringing something the village never expected: serious money. Let me give you a sense of the scale we are talking about. These returning women typically have a disposable income of 40,000 to 150,000 baht per month. That's about 900 to 3,400 pounds for those of you keeping score. In a village where the average annual income from rice farming is 50,000 baht, a returning daughter can earn in a month what a farmer earns in a year. However, it is not just monthly income. Many of these women have accumulated serious assets abroad. Selling a middle-class house in a western city can bring in several million baht, roughly 300,000 pounds or $600,000. When a woman with that kind of capital returns to her village, she is not just a daughter anymore. She is an investor, a developer, a power broker. Besides, the village does not quite know what to do with her. Now, I should probably explain what I mean by Mia Farang. It is a Thai term that roughly translates to Western wife, though it is often used with a sneer. It refers to Isan women who marry Western men, and it has become a phenomenon so widespread that it's created an entire subculture in the region. The numbers are telling. A 2004 government survey found more than 17,000 Isan women were married to Westerners. By 2010, the number of Westerners residing in Thailand had increased 13-fold. Besides, here is where it gets interesting. In the northeast, Western males represent a remarkable 90% of all Westerners in the region. That means these are overwhelmingly men who have come to live with their Isan wives, not the other way round. The demographics tell you everything about the power dynamics. These men are typically older, median age around 60, with 75% over 50. They are often retired or on disability benefits. They are coming here for a quiet life, a lower cost of living, and the companionship of their Isan wives. However, the women, they are not passive participants in this arrangement. They have seen the world, they have run businesses, they have navigated life in foreign cities, often with limited English, and they have come out the other side stronger. Let me tell you a story. Last month, I was at the local market, the one where you can buy anything from fresh chilies to counterfeit sunglasses. I overheard two elderly women gossiping about one of these returning daughters. "Did you see her house?" one whispered. "All that money! You know where it came from. The Farang husband." "Disgraceful," the other agreed. "She should be ashamed." I watched them for a moment. Both were wearing the same kind of traditional cotton shirts that had been around for decades. Both were carrying cheap plastic baskets. Both, I happen to know, have relatives who work abroad and send money home. Then I saw the daughter they were gossiping about. She was walking past with a group of younger women, all of them laughing. She was wearing a stylish blouse and trousers, nothing fancy, but clearly expensive. She had a smartphone in her hand and a confidence in her stride that you do not see in the women who never left. She caught my eye and smiled, and I thought to myself, those gossiping women do not stand a chance. You see, the old system worked because it kept the women quiet. The village would shame them, and they would accept the shame because they needed the village. They needed the family connections, the sense of belonging, and the hope of one day being accepted. However, the returning daughters do not need the village anymore. They have their own money. They have their own houses, often built before they even returned, as investments and holiday homes. They have their own social networks, including connections to the West that the village cannot touch. Besides, they have a new attitude. The shame is fading. It is being replaced by something that looks an awful lot like defiance. The younger generation is watching this shift carefully. They see the returning daughters are not suffering for their choices. They see that the money and the dignity go hand in hand. Besides, they are starting to ask, why should we accept the old rules? Why should we be ashamed of what we did to survive? This is where it gets really interesting. The returning daughters are not coming back to recreate the village they left. They are creating something new. Academics call this cultural hybridization, the blending of traditional values with global influences, and it is happening all over Isan. These women bring back Western ideas about gender equality. They challenge the patriarchal authority that once kept them in line. They introduce new concepts of family, of independence, of what a woman's life can look like. However, they are not rejecting their culture entirely. They still honour the principle of bunkan, the gratitude they owe their parents. They still participate in village ceremonies. They still speak the Isan dialect and eat the same food. They are just adding new layers to the old foundation, and the village is having to adapt. Now, I am not naive enough to think this is all smooth sailing. There are real tensions here. The entrenched power structures in the village, the elders and the male-dominated leadership are not always welcoming to these returning women. Their very presence challenges the old order. A woman with money and Western connections is not easy to control, and that makes people nervous. There is also the question of what happens when the Western husbands die. These men are significantly older than their Isan wives are, and the time will come when their wives have to navigate life in the village on their own. What happens then? Will the money run out? Will the village accept them without the Farang husband as a buffer? Besides, let us not forget the structural inequality that made all of this necessary in the first place. The Isan region receives a shocking 5.5% of the national budget despite being home to 1/3 of the population. Bangkok receives nearly 10 times that amount for half the population. Development policies continue to favour the capital while leaving the rural heartland to fend for itself. The returning daughters are solving a problem that the state created. They are filling a gap that the government refuses to address, and that is not sustainable. Nevertheless, here is the thing. The traditional facade is cracking. You can see it in the way the younger generation talks. You can see it in the way returning daughters hold their heads high. You can see it in the changing attitudes of the village itself. A 2025 academic study on Thai families notes that families remain resilient, not in decline, but continually negotiating continuity and change in an interconnected world. That is a polite way of saying the old hypocrisies are crumbling and something new is taking shape. The shamed daughters are becoming the returning heroines. The money that was once sent in secret is now spent openly. The Western husbands who were once hidden away are now walking through the village markets without shame. The daughters who went to Patpong and came back with wealth and wisdom are no longer keeping quiet. They are saying, I built this house, I paid this debt, I am not ashamed. So, what does this mean for the future of Isan? It means the village is changing. The old morality, the one that shamed women for doing what they had to do to survive, is running out of steam. The daughters who came home are rewriting the rules. They have shown that you can be a dutiful daughter and a powerful woman. You can honour your parents and challenge their authority. You can build a house and refuse to be a doormat. The Isan village of 2026 is not the Isan village of 2006. It is more diverse, more connected, more complicated, and in some ways more honest. The daughters who went to the city and came back are not just survivors. They are pioneers. They have forged a path that the next generation can follow, and the next generation is watching. I will leave you with this. The next time you see a Western man walking through an Isan village with his Thai wife, remember, you are looking at the future. You are looking at the quiet revolution. You are looking at the daughters who came home and refused to be shamed anymore. They call it a disgrace. I call it survival. Besides, survival is something to be proud of. Now, I have said my piece. I'm curious to hear from you. Have you seen this shift in your own village? Are the returning daughters being welcomed or resented? Drop a comment below and let us get a real conversation going. What's more, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps the algorithm and keeps me motivated to create more. Take care. Bye-bye.